Right now, you're throwing away something every single morning that could triple your tomato harvest this summer. And the reason you don't know about it? A $4 billion fertilizer industry that needs you to keep buying their bags. Today that ends. Let me ask you something. Have you ever dumped a handful of those little blue synthetic fertilizer pellets around your tomato plants, watched them green up almost overnight, and thought, yeah, that's the stuff? Of course you have. We all have. Because that instant green up feels like proof it's working. But here's what nobody on that bag's label is telling you. That quick green up, it's not health. It's a sugar rush. It's the horticultural equivalent of feeding your kid a bag of candy and calling it dinner. Sure, they're bouncing off the walls for an hour, but what happens after? A crash. And your soil is crashing hard. Every single time you pour synthetic fertilizer onto your garden bed, you are carpet bombing the living ecosystem beneath the surface. I'm talking about billions, literally billions, of microscopic organisms that have been feeding plants successfully for about 450 million years. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, nematodes, an entire underground civilization. And synthetic fertilizer? It salts the earth they live in. It acidifies their world. It makes the soil dependent on more and more chemicals just to function at a baseline level. Sound familiar? It should. It's the same business model as any other addiction. Get you hooked, make you dependent, sell you more. And the sickest part? Your grandparents didn't need any of it. They grew tomatoes the size of softballs with nothing but compost and kitchen scraps. So, what changed? Well, that story starts with a war, and it gets ugly. But first, stick with me through the next 3 minutes, because once you understand who did this and why, you will never look at that bag of fertilizer the same way again. And more importantly, I'm going to show you the exact free recipe, using stuff currently sitting in your trash can that replaces all of it. Let's rewind to 1945. World War II just ended. Factories across America that had been churning out ammonium nitrate for bombs suddenly had a problem. A very expensive problem. Massive industrial infrastructure, thousands of workers, exposed supply chains, and no more war to feed. So, what do you do when you have warehouses full of nitrogen compounds and no more enemies to drop them on? You find a new customer. American gardeners, American farmers, American soil. Almost overnight, the chemical industry pivoted. The same ammonium nitrate that leveled cities in Europe was literally repackaged, into bags with pictures of happy tomatoes on the front. And the marketing machine that sold a nation on war bonds? It went to work selling a nation on synthetic plant food. And it worked. Oh, it worked beautifully. By the 1950s, chemical companies had partnered with agricultural extension programs at universities. They funded the research. They funded the curriculum. They funded the professors. And suddenly, every piece of gardening advice in America came with the same message: feed your plants, buy our product. The old ways, composting, cover cropping, kitchen scrap fertilizing, weren't just forgotten. They were actively mocked, labeled as primitive, unscientific, grandma stuff. Think about that. Methods that had literally sustained human civilization since the invention of agriculture were, within a single generation, rebranded as backward. And the replacement? A product you had to purchase every single season from the same companies, over and over and over again. Now here's where the money tells the real story. The global synthetic fertilizer market is worth over $200 billion today. In the United States alone, it's a roughly $4 billion annual industry at the consumer level. $4 billion a year. From home gardeners, from people like you and me, growing tomatoes in the backyard. $4 billion. You think an industry that size wants you to know that banana peels, eggshells, and coffee grounds can do the same job? You think they're going to run an ad that says, hey, actually, just check your kitchen trash. No, they won't, because your trash is their competition, and they've spent 70 years making sure you never figure that out. There was a moment in the 1970s when the organic movement almost broke through. Researchers at several land-grant universities published papers showing that organic soil amendments matched or exceeded synthetic fertilizers in long-term yield trials. You know what happened? Funding dried up. Studies were shelved. The chemical companies who were bankrolling the ag departments made phone calls, and the research quietly disappeared. It didn't disappear because it was wrong. It disappeared because it was dangerous. Dangerous to profits. But the internet changed everything. Because now, you and I can share what works. No corporate filter. No sponsored professors. Just results. And the results I'm about to show you are going to make you furious. Furious that you didn't know this 10 years ago. Furious at every dollar you wasted. Here's the method, and I promise you, it is stupidly simple. All right, here's where we get into the good stuff. The recipe, the actual step-by-step method that's going to change your garden this summer. And I want you to pay close attention to the ratios because they matter. This isn't just throw some scraps in the dirt, this is precise. This is dialed in, and I guarantee you have all of them in your kitchen right now. Ingredient number 1, banana peels. Banana peels are absolutely loaded with potassium. We're talking roughly 42% potassium by dry weight, and potassium is the nutrient that tomato plants are most desperate for once they start flowering and setting fruit. It regulates water movement within the plant. It strengthens cell walls. It drives sugar production, which is literally what makes a tomato taste like a tomato instead of a watery red ball of nothing. When you see those bland, mealy supermarket tomatoes, that's a potassium problem. The plant didn't have enough to build flavor. Your banana peels fix that. Ingredient number 2, eggshells. Eggshells are roughly 96% calcium carbonate. Calcium, the single most critical mineral for preventing blossom end rot, that horrible black, mushy spot on the bottom of your tomatoes that makes you want to quit gardening forever. Every year, millions of gardeners lose tomatoes to blossom end rot and then go buy a $10 bottle of calcium spray, when the fix was sitting in their egg carton, on their counter, every single morning. But here's the thing, nobody tells you. You can't just crush up an eggshell and toss it on the soil. It'll sit there for 2 years doing basically nothing. The pieces are too large. The calcium is locked up. You have to process it correctly. And I'm gonna show you exactly how in about 60 seconds. Ingredient number 3, coffee grounds. Used coffee grounds contain roughly 2% nitrogen by volume. Now, 2% doesn't sound like much, but here's why it's actually perfect. Synthetic fertilizers blast your plants with 30, 40, sometimes 46% nitrogen all at once. That's the sugar rush I talked about. It forces rapid, weak, leggy growth. The plant looks green, but it's structurally fragile and more vulnerable to pests and disease. Coffee grounds release their nitrogen slowly, gradually, over weeks, the way nature intended. It's a steady feed, not a fire hose. And coffee grounds do something else that synthetic nitrogen never will. They feed the soil bacteria directly. They're a carbon-rich food source for the microbial community. You're not just feeding the plant, you're feeding the system that feeds the plant. That distinction is everything. And I'll explain exactly why in the science section coming up. You're going to want to hear that part. But first, the recipe. Here's the exact ratio. For every single tomato plant you need 2 banana peels, 6 eggshells, and 2 tablespoons of used coffee grounds. That's it. That's your complete NPK plus calcium profile for 1 tomato plant per month. Potassium from the banana peels, calcium from the eggshells, nitrogen from the coffee grounds. Total cost, functionally 0. You are going to throw all of this away. Now, preparation. This is the step most people skip, and it's the reason most people who try kitchen scrap fertilizing get mediocre results and give up. You have to process these correctly. Step 1. The banana peels. Take your banana peels and cut them into thin strips about 1/4 inch wide. Lay them out on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Put them in your oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the lowest setting on most ovens, and let them dry for about 2 hours. You want them bone dry, crispy. They should snap when you bend them. If they're still leathery, give them more time. Once they're dry, throw them in a blender and pulse until they're a fine powder. That's your potassium concentrate. Step 2, the eggshells. This is critical. Rinse your eggshells to remove the membrane, that thin, slimy skin on the inside. If you leave it, it can attract pests as it decomposes. Once rinsed, same process. Baking sheet, 200 degrees, about 20 minutes for eggshells. They dry much faster. Then into the blender. And you need to blend these until they are a fine flour-like powder. Not chunks, not small pieces. Powder. because calcium carbonate can only be absorbed by plant roots when the particle size is small enough for soil acids to break it down. Big shell pieces just sit there. Powder gets to work immediately. Step 3. The coffee grounds. These are the easiest. You can use them fresh, straight from your coffee maker. But if you want to store them, and I recommend batch making this recipe, spread them on a baking sheet and dry them at the same 200 degrees for about an hour. Dry grounds won't mold in storage. Wet grounds will. Now, once you have all 3 ingredients in powder or dry form, mix them together in a jar. 2 parts banana peel powder. 2 parts eggshell powder, 1 part coffee grounds. Shake it up. Label it. That's your fertilizer. Free. Done. Application. Once a month, take roughly 2 tablespoons of this mix per plant. Sprinkle it in a ring around the base of the tomato plant, about 3 to 4 inches from the stem. Not touching the stem. You don't want to invite rot. Then scratch it lightly into the top ½ inch of soil with your fingers or a hand fork. Water it in gently. That's it. 1 application per month from the time you transplant until the end of the growing season. 4 or 5 applications total per plant, per year. And I know what some of you are thinking. That seems too simple. I know. I thought the same thing. And that's exactly what 70 years of corporate conditioning sounds like. We've been trained to believe that if it's not complicated, expensive, and sold in a bag with a barcode, it can't possibly work. But it does. It works obscenely well. And in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly why, on a biological level, this kitchen scrap blend triggers a response in your soil that no synthetic fertilizer on Earth can replicate. This is where it gets really fun. Okay. I promised you the science, and I'm going to deliver. But I need to warn you, once you understand what I'm about to explain, you are going to look at your garden soil completely differently. You will never see dirt the same way again. Let's start with a question. When you pour synthetic fertilizer onto soil, what actually happens? The plant absorbs the nutrients directly through its roots. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, they're in a water-soluble, immediately available form. The plant takes them up. It grows. End of story. Sounds efficient, right? It is. In the same way that an IV drip of sugar water is efficient at delivering calories. But what happens to the rest of the body when that's all you eat? It atrophies. And that's exactly what happens underground. In healthy, living soil, plants don't feed themselves. Let me say that again because it's important. Plants do not feed themselves. They are fed by a network. In every single teaspoon of healthy soil, there are more microorganisms than there are people on this plane. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, an entire food web. And at the center of this web is a relationship so elegant that it makes the entire synthetic fertilizer industry look like a bad joke. It's called the mycorrhizal network, and it's a partnership between plant roots and a specific type of fungus that has existed for over 400 million years. Here's how it works. Your tomato plant's roots grow outward and come into contact with mycorrhizal fungi in the soil. The fungi attach to the roots and then extend outward, far, far beyond where the roots themselves can reach. We're talking up to 100 times the effective root surface area. These fungal threads, called hyphae, are incredibly thin, thinner than a human hair, and they snake through every microscopic pore in the soil, mining for minerals. Phosphorus, zinc, copper, iron, calcium, nutrients that are in the soil but locked up in forms the plant can't access on its own. The fungi extract them and deliver them directly to the plant's roots. And what does the plant give in return? Sugar, liquid carbon. The plant photosynthesizes, produces sugars, and pumps up to 30% of its total sugar production down through its roots and into the fungal network as payment. It's a trade deal, the oldest trade deal in the history of life on Earth. Now here's the devastating part. When you apply synthetic fertilizer, you short-circuit this entire system. The plant no longer needs the fungal network because nutrients are being delivered directly in soluble form. So the plant stops producing the sugars that feed the fungi. The fungi starve. the network collapses, and with it goes the entire soil food web that depends on it. It's not gradual. Studies have shown that a single heavy application of synthetic nitrogen can reduce mycorrhizal colonization of roots by 40 to 60%. One application, think about what happens after years, decades. You end up with dead soil, soil that can't feed plants on its own anymore, soil that is now completely dependent on the next bag of chemicals, just like the industry wanted. But when you apply the kitchen scrap blend, the banana peels, the eggshells, the coffee grounds, something radically different happens. These materials are not water soluble. They're organic. They have to be broken down. And who breaks them down? The microbes, the bacteria, the fungi. You are giving them a job. You are putting them to work. You are feeding the network, not bypassing it. The coffee grounds feed the bacteria. The bacteria multiply. The protozoa eat the bacteria and release plant-available nitrogen as a waste product. The fungi break down the eggshell calcium and the banana peel potassium and deliver them to the roots in exchange for sugar. The entire web activates. The entire system comes alive. And here's the kicker. A living mycorrhizal network doesn't just deliver nutrients, it delivers information. When a pest attacks one tomato plant, chemical signals travel through the fungal network to neighboring plants, triggering their defense systems before the pest even arrives. When drought hits, the fungi redistribute water from moist pockets of soil to the roots that need it most. Synthetic fertilizer can't do any of that. It never could. It never will. All it can do is deliver 3 nutrients and kill everything else in the process. Your kitchen scrap blend doesn't just feed tomatoes. It rebuilds the intelligence network underneath them. And that network, once it's thriving, does most of the work for you. Better flavor, stronger plants, more fruit, less disease. Not because of some miracle. Because of biology. The same biology that's been running the show since before humans existed. The same biology a $4 billion industry told you to ignore. Now, let me show you what this actually looks like in the real world. Here's where this gets visual, and I want you to really look at what I'm about to show you, because a picture is worth 1,000 arguments. On one side, imagine a tomato plant that's been fed nothing but synthetic fertilizer for an entire season. The stem is thin, almost spindly. The leaves are a deep, artificially uniform green because they've been force-fed nitrogen. But look at the fruit. Small, few in number, some with blossom end rot, those ugly black patches on the bottom. The soil around the base looks pale and compacted, lifeless, almost gray. There are no earthworms, no visible fungal threads. It's sterile dirt holding up a struggling plant. Now look at the other side. Same variety, same sun, same water. But this plant was fed the kitchen scrap blend, banana peels, eggshells, and coffee grounds, once a month for 4 months. The difference is staggering. The stem is thick, almost woody at the base. The leaves are a rich, varied green, not that eerie synthetic uniformity. And the fruit, clusters of deep red, full-size tomatoes, hanging so heavy that the branches need support. No blossom end rot, no cracking. The soil around the base is dark, almost chocolate brown, crumbly, alive. You can see the organic matter. You can practically feel the biology working. This isn't magic. This is what happens when you stop poisoning the system that was designed to grow your food and start feeding it instead. Gardeners who've made this switch report harvest increases of 2 to 3 times what they were getting with synthetics. Not in some laboratory, in their backyards, in their raised beds, in containers on their apartment balconies. And the best part? It costs essentially nothing. You are going to throw those banana peels away. You were going to dump those coffee grounds. You were going to toss those eggshells in the trash. Instead, you turned them into the most effective tomato fertilizer money literally cannot buy. Because you can't buy this. No corporation can bottle a living soil ecosystem. They can only sell you a cheap, destructive shortcut and pray you never learn the alternative. Well, now you've learned it. So here's what I want you to do right now.
Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the most you've ever spent on fertilizer that didn't work? I want to hear the horror stories, the bags of promises that ended in blossom and rot and disappointment. Tell me everything.
And if this video made you rethink what's sitting in your trash can, do me a favor, hit subscribe, because this is just the beginning. I've got an entire series coming on free kitchen-based methods for every vegetable in your garden. And the fertilizer industry is not going to be happy about any of them. I'll see you in the next one. Now go save those banana peels.